Hey everybody, this is Dave at West Texas Bugs. Today I'm going to tie this is called a Underwing caddis, and you can see it's a wally wing technique. Just instead of upright, they're laid flat. So I'm going to tie this for you today. It's I'm not 100% sure who kind of came up with this. The first person I ever saw tie it was Gabriel Zingaro, Cap Zingaro on Instagram. So we'll give him the credit. So the hook I'm going to use is a size 12 Ahrex Sedge barbless. It's kind of a stimulator fly. And for thread, I'm going to use, this is 8/0 Semperfli 8/0 waxed brown olive. Alright, so I'm going to start my thread right about halfway and take it back just a little bit around the bend. So that'll work. And I need to do a rib for this, so I'm going to use, this is just some flat tinsel. This is Semperfli gold and black. Use whatever kind of tinsel you'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and get that tied in right back here. Get it tied in real well. Get my tinsel out of the way. For dubbing, I'm going to use some Snowshoe rabbit, and the color that I'm going to use for this one is kind of a grayish gold, or no, I'm sorry, grayish green. And I know on the camera here it looks really green, but it's really kind of a dull grayish green color. It doesn't say on the package here what the color is. It's just a number. So number 7. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dub this on fairly tight, and I want to bring my body up just to about where I started my thread. This you could definitely get this the eye crowded on this fly, so I'm going to be mindful of that. So let's bring my noodle up. So about right there, so I got a little more dubbing than I want. Alright, I'm going to counter wrap my rib. That's your hook point on that first wrap. That tied off. Okay, and then for an underwing, I'm just going to use some X-Caddis deer hair, natural deer hair. And I've already got a little clump cleaned and stacked. I don't know that you have to stack this because it is just an underwing, but I did. And I want to measure it out just about the length of my body. And then what I like to do, I'll flatten my thread out, and I like to go ahead and go around my clump up in the air and then bring it down on top of my hook. And this kind of keeps it from spinning. It kind of bundles it before it comes down on the hook shank. And I can go ahead and get some tight wraps in there. And then if you want, you can do the third, and third to really get it tied in well. Probably not 100% necessary on this fly, but clip everything away. Flatten my thread out and compress all these butt ends. Get this kind of cleaned up here. All right. That wing a little flattened out. All right, so now the feathers that I'm going to use on this fly, I'm going to just go ahead and use some wood duck. And you want a pretty good size feather. So this is just natural wood duck. It's teal flank, and it's not dyed or anything. And the way to prepare your feather is just like you do with any wally wing. So I'm going to just bring it down and get all the fluff and the garbage off the bottom. And then what I like to do for this fly is go ahead and just clip the stem out there. Okay, and then to prepare it, just grab it right in the center and go ahead and stroke all your fibers back, just like you're doing a regular wally wing. I've done some of these too with turkey flank or turkey flat, which I really like doing my wally wings with because it's a lot more durable. Okay, so you want to get something that looks like this. All right, now to attach it, I don't really have to measure it or anything like that. I just kind of want to get it right up on top and get a wrap, 2 wraps really loose. And then I can grab the end and I can adjust it for length and positioning. So I'm going to do about like that. That's my length on this. That might be a little long. It's kind of hard to go backwards now though. And then I'm going to really cinch down on all this, the waist. And then get this cleaned up really well. I want to get all of this away from my eye. Okay. Let's get that all cleaned up and ready to go. Okay, so now my feather is right up on top. Okay, now let's see if I can split this thing without and show you what I'm doing, not get my hands in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it. Let's see, about right there. That looks good. All right, so just if you're familiar with wally wings, and this is pretty status quo, and if you're not, so with duck, I want to get an equal number of fibers kind of on both sides, and then I'm just going to start pulling and separate wings. Okay, then I can bring it up and just cut the tips that I just used to separate. All right, and then there are your wonder wings. All right, so now to finish this fly off, I'm going to use for my my wing case, or not really wing case, but cover. I'm just going to use some peacock or pheasant tail. Sorry about that. And I'm going to take a pretty generous clump, and I'm going to cut the butt ends square, and I'm going to tie it in by the butt ends. So I'm going to place these right behind the eye. top. You can see I have a little spot behind my eye where I don't have thread, and that's on purpose because that's going to be my tie-in point for this thorax cover. So here I'm going to go ahead and throw a dubbing loop in, and what I like to do, I go ahead and just I put it in at the front, and then I bring my thread back, and that'll close my loop. Bring this all the way back. Now my loop is closed, and then I can bring my thread back forward. And my dubbing loop spinner here. Go ahead and park that in there. For the dubbing for the thorax, I'm going to use some fox squirrel. And so just get a little clump of your fox squirrel and kind of separate it out. And then what I like to do is just kind of get it flattened out and put it in my dubbing spinner. I don't use any wax or anything. You certainly can if you like to. And then get it down tight. Kind of clean it up a little bit. And then go ahead and wrap it in there. I'm not worried too much about which way the fibers are pointing at this point. Now I'm going to stroke them back a little bit and just get them away from the eye. Because I do want this to be, I want it to be buggy and bushy and tie off my dubbing loop. Alright, now I'll go ahead and moisten my fingers and just kind of part this right down the sides and bring my cover over. Sure it's right up on top. Pull everything back, make sure that my eye is nice and clean. Come in and trim these very short. Alright, and then I'll whip finish. I want a pretty strong head on this. And I'll use some UV resin. I use the I like the Solar Res Bone Dry, that little thin brush. Ooh, I just saw that bleed down into my eye there. Okay, and that is the Underwing caddis. It's kind of a new caddis pattern for me. I don't know if you've tied them before, but it's a lot of fun to tie. I'm sure it fishes just fine. and have some fun with it. Thanks for watching.